Hello and welcome to the Restaurant Show here on CW57. My name is Ryan Ashker. Stay tuned, we have a great show today. Our friends from Freshii are going to stop in, Cold Fusion, and much more. It's the Restaurant Show right here on CW57. Hello and welcome back to the Restaurant Show. Right now we're joined by Freshii. Jack is going to tell us how we can all live just a little bit healthier. Instead of hitting up some of that fast food, we have some really healthy options that he always brings us right over on the west side, so you can figure out how to, have a healthier lunch, breakfast, dinner, and just kind of live a better life.
Absolutely.
And you brought a lot today as well. I know we've talked about the juices before, which are my favorite. We have the kimchi bowl. Is that this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So we occasionally put in new menu items. So this one we introduced a couple weeks ago. I had alluded to it on a previous episode. So what we've got going with this one is our brown rice, a little teriyaki sauce, some of the red cabbage, carrots, edamame, some mushrooms, and then we have a hard-boiled egg on there, and the kimchi, a little sriracha sauce, and the sesame seeds. Now, for those not familiar with kimchi, it's a fermented cabbage, comes in different varying degrees of spiciness or heat. This one's a pretty mild one. I've had ones in the past that you take a bite and it puts you in a sweat.
Yeah.
So people have really been liking this. If you like spicy food, kimchi is something that really helps with really good antioxidants, and the sriracha sauce combined with that, it's actually good for your metabolism, kind of speeds things up a little bit.
The capsaicin, right? The capsaicin there speeds up the metabolism?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just a real yummy dish that we're going to be serving for the next couple months at least, and we'll see how things go from there. Also has some little strips of nori, which is the seaweed that we use in our sushito, and so we'll also got that going. There's two flavors of that, the kimchi or the chicken teriyaki. And so it's a real delicious one, but a little hard to control. So if you come in and try it out, we'll definitely be able to impress you with that one. A couple other things that I wanted to just show real quickly is our catering. I've had a number of groups call me in the last few weeks that have heard about us, tried us for lunch or dinner, breakfast, and basically said, boy, this is great, I'd like you to bring it into our next meeting, training, etc. And so for a lot of companies that are trying to push the wellness programs, the benefits, seeing employees that are more engaged, more energy. Our motto, once again, at Freshii is eat, energize. So a lot of people after the meetings tell me, man, that was great. Everybody was fueled up, feeling good. We didn't have the big carb crash around 2, 3 o'clock from some of the other meals that we've had in the past. So the feedback that I've been getting is really positive on that. And then once again, just highlighting our juices and smoothies. I brought out some fresh fruit and veggies to show folks in TV land what we're putting in here. So no substitutes, no additives, no chemicals, just pure fruits and veggies is what we're using here. And so if you're looking for like an in-between meal or something to pick you up maybe in the afternoon instead of turning to a soda or coffee, real healthy alternative for you there.
And these juices are fantastic. I didn't think I'd like them. I actually love the things. And I know you were talking about something else we were talking off screen a little bit, frozen kefir.
Yep.
And that's like more of a dessert sort of menu kind of?
Yeah, absolutely. So the difference with kefir, depending on what part of the world or how you want to pronounce it, it's like a healthier frozen yogurt. So the process with it actually goes through a little bit of fermentation, so you get more probiotics than you would in a normal yogurt that you'd buy out of the store or a frozen yogurt, and that really helps your digestive system. So just kind of having that as a little dessert at the end, it's a real nice option. It's low calorie, high taste, and you can mix all the different ingredients that we have on there. We've got all the way from chocolate chips and Oreos to mangoes, blueberries, strawberries, almonds, walnuts, honey, cinnamon. I could go on, but it's really options are a lot to give you there.
Mango and fruit are probably the options to go with, I'm thinking. But
yeah, I'd say probably the strawberry blueberry is the combo that I see most people go with.
So it's healthier than frozen yogurt, because frozen yogurt's always considered, that's your healthy alternative to ice cream.
And as far as I know, we're still the only place in town serving frozen kefir. I've had guests come in and tell me that they can't find it anywhere else. And so for some folks, you can either, that's what's in our smoothies, or else you can get in a bowl with the toppings on top.
That's one I'm gonna have to try. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And we want to, obviously hit again on you so you don't get that 2:30, 3 o'clock feeling. It is really high energy food. It's kind of light on your system, good for you, keeps you more energized as opposed to slowing down and being sluggish, I guess you would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you mentioned you're doing some corporate lunches, things like that. The catering's really taking off, so if you do have some of those meetings or visiting with clients, make sure you give Freshii a call, because it is a fantastic option. And you also recently just partnered with a local athletic club as well, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Madison Capitals, the minor league hockey team that we've got here in Madison, was looking for a food sponsor. So we're happy to be sponsoring them this season. And I think that'll be a great way of promoting Freshie to all the young athletes out there.
Yeah.
I know a lot of younger kids that are playing hockey like to go to those games to check it out, along with Badger games. So I think working with the Madison Capitals, I'm hoping to see that the players themselves too are eating it maybe before games or before they go on road trips and maybe feeling the difference from what they've been eating in the past.
Taking it on the road with them, that'd probably be a better idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And then right across the street from Freshie is Memorial High School.
Yep.
And they reached out to us as well. They're forming a new gridiron club to support the football team. The new coach, Adam Smith, coming on board now. And so they'd asked us to be a food sponsor as well for one of their game days. So we're real happy about sponsoring the Memorial sports programs and working with them. Once again, giving those athletes that healthier option to pick.
That's fantastic. Good job, Adam. I'm adopted Memorial fan because it's nowhere near where I came from, so I need a local team. I like Memorial, though. Those are my guys. Now, we have a little bit of time. I want you to give us just some more updates. What's going on with Freshie? Kind of where did it come from? Where did this idea come from? And as good as you're doing now, any chance we might see some more of them around town?
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be some more Freshies opening in the next year for sure. One opened in Appleton about a month ago, and they're doing really well. Freshie started in Toronto 10 years ago. The original name for it was Lettuce Eatery, but they felt kind of...
Lettuce Eatery. I like Freshie better.
Yeah, most people do. It just lends itself to that. We're not just salads, even though we do a great job with those. We're really trying to cover the different gamut here, so people, depending on what their wants and needs are, can really get some, some good healthy food at a low cost. And basically, they've been opening right now about a store or two per week.
Oh, wow.
They just opened one in Dublin, Ireland last week, so they're in Europe, Central America, as far away as Dubai.
Okay.
They've got a number of locations all over the U.S. There's over 20 in the Chicagoland area, so if you're visiting Chicago, might be a Freshie right nearby. And really their goal is to help people live a healthier lifestyle. On and on now, the science is coming out. I was just watching the morning news today on Good Morning America, and they were saying the same thing, that we really need to get off the sugar and salt diet that is so prevalent in America right now and get more to the fruits and veggies and healthier diets so we can start avoiding some of these issues for health, obesity, diabetes, on and on, all related to diet.
And just with the way things are going, I think there is kind of a culture shift going towards that too. I know I'm starting to eat a lot better than I used to when I was a little kid. It's not chicken wings and pizza every day. So sometimes you gotta have those fruits and vegetables. And Freshie's a great place to do it if you're on the run. Business meetings, breakfast, lunch, you name it, they have it. And as you can see, some fantastic, very delicious, healthy options. Jack, thanks for joining us here on the Restaurant Show again.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys. We'll be right back. Coming up next on the Restaurant Show, Joe from Cold Fusion swings by. Hello and welcome back to the Restaurant Show. Right now we're joined by my friend Joe from Cold Fusion, or as I'm going to call him, the culinary creator, because every week he comes in here with something just insanely different and absolutely delicious. We're going to start off with today what I've heard is maybe the best ribs around. I haven't had the chance to try myself yet, but tell us a little bit about these ribs.
There are ribs that I've done for over 20 years. I've competed nationally with them. They've won awards. We always start with a baby back, of course. And I've tweaked a little bit about the meat over the years. I've got a meatier baby back now. So in a restaurant setting, people get more meat on the bone instead of just the smaller ones. It's also a 6-hour process to cook them. So I don't have a smoker on site, but I do know how to smoke things differently. So I smoke indoors. So
all right.
The restaurant smells great every time we do a batch of these.
Could imagine.
We start with our baby backs, of course, here.
And that's just a half rack?
This is a half rack. We offer half racks, full racks, and a rib appetizer at the restaurant. So this right here runs you $15.95, except on Tuesdays when it's $2 off every barbecue entree we have. So now it's down to $13.95. So I start with the rib. Then I splash it with some vinegar. And what the vinegar does, it's rice wine vinegar, it starts to break down the membranes of the bones. So when you cook it, it starts to tear apart the tendons and stuff in the bones. That's what makes it really tender when you can just pull it apart instead of having a gnaw on the bone.
Sure.
Some people do dry rubs. I don't do necessarily a dry rub except for my seasoning. I put the vinegar on, then I use Joe Spice. Rub it all over both sides, okay? Then we grill them. Okay, we grill them next. They take about probably half hour or 40 minutes to grill. Make sure they're nice and caramelized and charcoaled on each side. And then we do what's called a liquid smoke. I take how many racks it is, I put enough liquid smoke in a big pan, big hotel pan, and put it in the Alto Sham for about 5 hours. Slow cook it. And we test it by taking the middle bone of the middle rack, twisting and pulling. If that middle bone and that middle rack can come out, it's done. If it's not, it goes back in and stays there until it's tender enough to where people don't have to just keep pulling at when they're trying to eat their meal.
Sure.
We want to make it as easy as possible for them. Then it comes off out of the oven. When we get it, we keep it at a warm temperature so you don't have to like microwave and stuff like that. We want to keep it warm for you. So then we put it back on the grill. Caramelize the top side with the barbecue sauce, which is just the base that we add some things to of my own recipe. Flip it over, caramelize again, and flip it one more time, caramelize the top again, put it in a high temperature oven. 500 at home would work too.
Sure.
It'll take about probably 4 or 5 minutes at home just to caramelize, get that nice tackiness. You don't want the barbecue sauce just poured over top.
No.
You want it there to where people can taste it. Then we take our mango relish and we put it on top
Okay.
of the rib itself. That gives a little sweetness added to the vinegar, and you get the vinegar touch at the end as well. And the mango is really sweet and nice with the barbecue sauce too.
So it just gives it a whole kind of different added flavor on top of
It's
what's
just
already a great rib.
It's just a traditional American barbecue paired with a little bit of a mango.
Wow.
Fusing it with something a little bit different than most people do.
Okay.
So
If that doesn't have your mouth watering at home, check your pulse, because I'm freaking out right now. Those sound fantastic.
thank you. I do have a finished product here. We can show you that.
Okay.
The ribs. This is a half rack again. That's already finished. You can see the grill marks, the caramelized barbecue sauce on top of it with the mango relish on top of that.
And I don't know if you guys can see it at home, but you can see how well that kind of pulls apart on the bone, so you get that really crispy. You get all the meat that you can out of it too.
What people have to understand too, when they're doing ribs, when you go out to eat and you have a rib, when you eat the meat off the bone, if the bone turns white automatically, then it's perfectly smoked.
Okay.
Okay, if it's still dark, that means it needs to be smoked a little bit longer, because then you have to pull the meat off the bone. So I want to make your job as easy as possible when you eat at my restaurant. I want to have to gnaw on stuff. Some people like it that way, which is fine. I've chosen to do it this way for so long that I don't deviate from it.
Like it easy. I'd prefer it easy too, because with that in front of me, I'm going to go through it as fast as I can. We also have, Tommy brought something else, the machaca ribeye.
It's a machaca ribeye.
All right.
People ask me, well, what is that? Well, machaca is basically, in South America, they take it, a big brisket, and they coffee rub it, and then they slow cook it for like 6 or 7 hours. Basically like make coffee beef tacos with them. Here, I took that idea off another cooking show. I actually saw it and said, why can't I do that with a ribeye? So I take a ribeye, we hand cut it ourselves. It's off a loin. We do 10, 12, or 14 ounces at the restaurant. We dredge it in our Guatemalan coffee because it's a sweeter coffee. And I mix some other spices with it, Joe spice and some chili powder and things like that to give it a little kick. Grill it, it gets nice and crusted. Okay, really nice and crusted on top. It's still how you want it done. We can cook it whatever temperature you want. So to me, it's more kind of like a Pittsburgh. If you like your stuff rare and medium rare, it's the perfect steak for it because it has a different flavor aspect to it.
That's how I go.
Right. And then here we take our heavy whipping cream. This is the sauce that goes on top. We start with sauteing our peppers and onions with Joe spice, cut garlic, crushed red pepper.
Yep.
Then we put the heavy whipping cream in after they're about medium. You don't want them all the way done. You just want that crunch of the vegetable to it, okay? And then we take that, let it simmer down a little bit, cook that cream into it so it's a nice sauce going over top of the steak, okay? And then once that's done, you pour it over the top of the steak. And it gives you a nice little spice to that sweet coffee flavor and stuff like that. Everybody's like, well, I don't like coffee. You don't have to like coffee to like the steak. It's going to have that aroma to it, but when you taste it, it's more of a crust.
Yeah.
There's more of a crunch to it, and it's just a really nice flavor. I've had people come and say, I'm not a steak person, but I'll eat this all the time.
So more of a texture thing than opposed to
Exactly.
just a taste for it.
And with that one, this is a finished 12-ounce one that we've done.
Oh my goodness.
I did, and I brought that with us. It's a medium rare. So you can see the peppers and onions are still firm. They're not mushy or anything like that. You want to have the texture components to where you got the softness of the cream, but you also got the medium of the peppers, and then the crunch of the steak and the softness of the steak inside. So there's different levels of texture each time you bite one. 2
fantastic different meals. We have the specialty ribs, the machaca ribeye. So those are 2 you can check out when you go to Cold Fusion, and everything there is fantastic. But I want to ask you a little bit, with football season coming up, we're getting into sports. What are some of the events you have going on over at Cold Fusion?
We actually, in Middleton and in Platteville, we have 7 TVs. It's a smaller place. Middleton, we have 15 TVs. And McFarland, we have 5, and that's a really small place. We focus on the sports, especially in this area with the Badgers and the Packers. We're always full on those days. We're starting to do some more drink specials with buckets of beer and things like that. People have asked me to do that, so I'm doing it.
Sure.
We're doing some game day food specials with our wings. We're going to do special those on those days as well, which we've had here before, and you saw how big those
Great
are.
wings.
So And we're going to do a cheese and sausage tray. It's Wisconsin, so you might as well start putting that out there.
I
too.
love it.
So people are going to start coming to that. And I have a nice little twist to I'm doing an anti-pasta tray for my fusion stuff. So just have people, give people different options, cheaper prices. We're going to have some specials, game day specials for drinks and food. So we just want to keep people coming back and let them understand that we are listening to what they're saying, and we're trying to get better every day as a restaurant.
So really much more than just a restaurant you'd go to and have a nice dinner at and hang out with wife, girlfriend, whatever it may be, a chance to go out maybe with the guys and get some great food and enjoy the Brewers, Packers, Badgers.
Whatever you want to watch, we have it. So
you name it.
And we always have the Badgers and Packers on. You have to. So, and it's just, to us, the more we can cater to the community, the better.
Understandable. So a lot of great stuff going on at Cold Fusion. Check them out in Platteville, Middleton, and McFarland. Yes. That's right. So 3 locations for you guys to enjoy. Always fantastic food. Joe, thanks for joining us
Thank
here
you.
today.
Appreciate it for having me.
We'll be right back with more of The Restaurant Show. Coming up next on The Restaurant Show, our friend Steven from the Egg and I.
Welcome back to The Restaurant Show. We are very pleased to have the Egg and I joining us. And Steven, owner of the Egg and I, right on the Beltline there. So glad to have you. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Love being here.
Glad to have you. And you have amazing food. We know you have amazing breakfast, and recently, I get to brag on you for a second, but recently actually voted best breakfast in the Madison area, which is a huge accomplishment because there's a bazillion restaurants in town. So one of the many reasons that you have such great breakfast is you do some really cool things, some specials, and one of the specials is this French toast. So talk to us about this.
Okay, well, it starts February 9th and runs till March 22nd, so this one will be around for a little while.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Really good.
So that's part of the reason I'm glad it's going to be around for a little while.
Yeah.
People get a chance to try it.
And I'm really excited about it. So it's a peaches and cream French toast. All of the things in that sound amazing. So there's a little bit of technique involved with this. So you really are.
I gotta get started actually.
Yes. So let's get you started. And now this is some very nice thick bread. What kind of bread do you use?
Okay, well, it's a thick cut sourdough.
Oh, yeah.
Which we have. It's made for us. And then, of course, we use a custard that we make right in the store. Most of the things we do, we make in the store if we can.
Yes. A lot of made from scratch in-house things that you do at the Egg and I. So the custard you actually make right in house, right in shop. I love that.
So we were going to talk a little bit about technique.
Yes.
One of the things that goes in this dish is cinnamon. And when you're cooking with cinnamon and you're making it in a liquid, a lot of times, if you're not careful with what you're doing, you'll end up with these little bubbles of cinnamon, and it's dried cinnamon, and it'll get it all through your dish.
Okay.
And it'll end up being these little intense pockets of cinnamon.
Okay.
And there's a way to get around that. It's real easy.
Okay.
It's like you mix your cinnamon up.
So you put all your dry ingredients in with the cinnamon right away and get that going.
And just get the cinnamon just mixed up evenly through everything.
And what did you add there?
A little bit of salt and some sugar and some cinnamon.
Okay. All good things, right?
Yeah.
Sounds good so far.
So that's all we got to that.
So you kind of have to get that moving.
So this is to make our compote. Yep.
Okay, so you don't get those cinnamon pockets.
Yeah, so now we're just adding water to it. And you can see it's still got a little bit of cinnamon bubble right there. But
yeah, but this is why you did that first. Can you imagine if not? So, ooh, look at that. It looks kind of caramely.
Yep.
Love it.
So this is going to be a nice compote when we're done with it.
Okay. And you kind of leave that to do its thing.
So now I'm making a slurry.
Okay.
And add this to it.
And that's going to go in there?
That'll also go in there.
Okay.
So.
Look at your cute little mixer.
Yeah.
That's adorable. You have all the good tools. I love all your little tools. You got everything you need.
Got everything.
See, you
so
whisk
it's just
that
cornstarch and water.
Okay, so cornstarch and water, and you're going to add that to your already cooking cinnamon and other ingredients. And that
it's close to time to flip that.
Okay, so we're watching time on those. And that gets poured in. I love French toast. I'm really excited about this. Now, sourdough French toast. Is that typical? Do you usually do sourdough bread?
Well, we always do.
You always do. I love that. That's great. And they make it specially this is your own brand, essentially.
It's made for
you.
us, yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
It's not really branded, I don't think. But.
Your own bread, I should say. Yeah, maybe. But that looks great. And while you're kind of working on that, I want to make sure we mention too, because if you haven't been to the Egg and I, first of all, it's a big place. And people forget that, or don't realize maybe if they haven't been, because you drive by on the Beltline there, and you go in and it's sort of shockingly large. Look at that, that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
And
it's really nice.
And you guys have an extensive menu, not only for breakfast, but a great lunch menu, and outstanding coffee. So I want to make sure we kind of talk about this while we're finishing up the peaches and cream French toast, because people don't know everything about your coffee and how great your coffee is. So you actually do grind your own beans, don't you?
Yeah, we have, our coffee is actually branded. It wasn't originally when we first opened, now it's branded. But Royal Cup and Torquay Coffee do coffees for us. And they roast the beans and they sell us the beans. And we have the beans in sealed bags. And when we're ready to sell it, then we grind the coffee beans. Wow. So when we're ready to make some coffee. If somebody would want to come in and buy our beans, we sell the beans.
Oh, okay.
And we'll either sell you the bean or we'll actually grind it if you want it ground yourself.
Wow. Okay, so you can buy beans or they'll grind them up. You'll grind them up for us. And I've heard, I don't know much about it, but you have like a state-of-the-art water filtration system, and that makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially in Madison.
Yeah.
Madison is very hard water. There's a lot of magnesium and a lot of calcium in it that can make your coffee bitter.
Right.
So our system is the same one that Starbucks uses.
Oh, okay.
And it takes everything out and just adds back a little tiny bit of calcium, because you have to have some of that or your coffee or your soda won't work right.
Oh, okay. So there's a little bit of science to the water, and that actually helps your coffee be so good. That's one of the reasons. Okay.
Culligan, Total Water in town, sold us this system. So
interesting.
Kind of plug in. They're nice guys.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so definitely don't skip out on the coffee when you go to Egg and I, because it's awesome coffee. So that's really great, and go there for lunch too, because you guys have great lunch. So okay, now what do? You add the peaches?
Get in there.
Those go in. Oh my God, it smells delicious. That's outstanding. Ooh, that just like added to the scent right there, adding the peaches in. Whoa, what a difference. Yeah, that looks so good.
So it's almost ready.
Let you kind of finish up there. And pull it off, nice and hot. Look at those. Those are picture perfect. Beautiful.
So we take a little, where's my scoop?
There's no way my French toast would turn out this perfect looking. I love your scoop too. I was complimenting his scoop before we started. All the good tools you have. There's another one.
Come on,
beautiful. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure. I was hungry for breakfast before you started, but now it's all I can think about. What a display too. It's pretty. And then the final, this is like the grand finale, right?
This is it.
Pouring it over the top. Oh my goodness gracious.
Scoops. One's not enough.
Wow, that looks outstanding.
A little bit of powdered sugar.
Oh yeah, now we're talking. Okay, powdered sugar on top. And when can we get this peaches and cream? Oh, we're not even done.
Not quite done yet.
Look at that. Wow, that looks so good. Peaches, cream, what else could you ask for? I can't even stand it. That looks beautiful.
That is a delicious breakfast.
When can you get it?
Starting February 9th
okay.
until March 22nd.
March 22nd. That is just super duper. So Check them out at the Egg and I. Don't forget coffee. They have the best coffee in town. Delicious breakfast. February 9th through March 22nd. Stick around. We've got more restaurant show coming up right.
Thank you all for tuning in to the restaurant show this week. We want to thank all of our restaurants for stopping by and giving us an idea where to eat here in the Madison area. Tons of great food. Stay tuned to the restaurant show each and every week right here on CW57.